It's a Financial Friday today. We are sharing the studio with People's Community Bank. Mr. Kevin is with us today. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. So how was your trip here?
Uneventful. It was great.
Looked fall-like too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We are in fall. And did you have a great Halloween?
We did. We said very nice, other than windy.
Yeah, it was windy. Did the People's Community Bank hand out candy yesterday?
We did, and they all dressed up.
Oh, I like that. Isn't that fun when you can dress up at work like that?
Yeah.
You guys have a great place to work at. I'm going to go off topic here because we're going to talk financial. But I was talking to Kevin before we went on the air. You guys have been awarded Best Place to Work for the last couple of years.
We have, and that's voted on by the staff.
I love that.
So we're super excited when that happens.
Yeah, best places to work. Folks, I mean, do you guys have openings all the time?
Periodically, not a lot. A lot of times it's retirements we end up running into. So
all right.
We're always looking for good people, though.
That's great to hear. People's Community Bank. Now, for those who are unaware of where you guys are located, do you want to tell people or should I tell people?
Sure, I can let them know. We have offices in Mazomanie, Arena, Spring Green, Plain, Richland Center, and Barneveld.
Yeah, lots of locations. Lots of locations in our listening area, folks. The People's Community Bank and Financial Friday. Okay, financial. It's a big thing this year, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, it's a big thing all the time, isn't it? Yes, people worry about finances. Interest rates are a big thing. We've heard how high they were. We've heard they've been coming down. You guys get a lot of calls about the interest rates and everything like that?
We do, and it has been the hot topic here over the last 2 years now as interest rates went up about 5%.
Yeah, they went up high.
Got very expensive for a lot of people, and now we just finally had our first rate decrease here about a month ago.
Okay.
So a lot of calls coming.
So interest rates going down, a lot of people are saying inflation is canceling any benefits you might get with that. Is that true, or is there a way around that?
Well, there is. I mean, part of it, what happens is inflation picks up. They start to raise interest rates for everybody to try to slow things down. As things start to get too expensive and things then they start to lower things again. And then rates will start to come down. That's the point we're at now.
Okay, good.
A lot of people are hoping we're going to see some more rate decreases coming.
Yeah. Do you expect that? We're hoping, but do you expect it?
We do. It's very hard to tell. They try to lead a little bit and let people know what might be happening.
Okay.
For example, home loan rates were up to just over 8%, and the market now has brought them back down in the low 6s.
Oh.
In anticipation that the Fed's going to keep lowering rates.
Okay.
So that's the hope.
Now, what would that mean for me, a normal person looking to borrow money or to refinance? All of that. What does that mean?
Yep. So kind of and that's a lot of the questions that we get is what happens? Did my home loan change? Is it a good time to refinance? What about my credit cards? When the Federal Reserve lowers rates, it's the short-term overnight rate that goes down. So what that means is your credit cards, any line of credit, anything that's a short-term borrowing, for example, those move right away.
Okay.
So probably people will see some relief on their credit cards right away.
That's good.
Your home loans, like I said, they've already moved down because the markets will actually anticipate what's going to happen. So they've started coming down already over the last few months. And so home loan rates were down to about 6%. They've now actually kind of creeped back up just a little bit. So it's always a good time to talk about it, to look at it. If somebody's at 8%, today probably is a good time to look at it.
I was going to ask that. What is the difference where it's going to make a big difference on your payments? I mean, if it goes down 1%, do we come in and refinance, or do we wait for a couple of percentage points?
Yeah, and that's a question we get a lot. For our purposes, many times, it depends on how big the loan is.
Right.
But many times, anywhere from 0.75% to 1% is a good time to do it, and you can make that cost back up typically in the first year.
Wow.
So if somebody's got, and if they've ever got it, they can come in, we can run some numbers on it, but typically if you can move that amount, it's worth looking at.
Excellent. So lots of things to know about inflation and interest rates and how they're connected to each other.
Yep.
And how it can affect you as maybe the homeowner, personal loan, business loan, all of that is affected by all of this.
Absolutely. And so a lot of times what people may think is when rates start coming down, they see it on the news, the rates are dropping.
Right.
Many times the rates that they're thinking, maybe business loans, maybe farm loans, sometimes those just kind of trail behind.
Okay.
Because we're only moving that really short rate, and then slowly the rest of them start to follow. So I think you'll continue to see some declines coming. Okay, that's good. And we'll know more next week when the Fed meets again to see if they lower them again for us.
Next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what if we're looking to borrow right now? Would you say it's a great time to come in and talk? It's always a great time to come in and talk, right?
It's always a great time, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is. And I think we noticed even when rates got higher that we still had a lot of borrowers that still kept borrowing.
Yeah.
We had some of our busiest times because people just kind of realized, hey, this is where we're at, and there's maybe down the road there's a chance to refinance.
Exactly.
But it's a good time. I think what we look at is when rates are higher, it's a good time, number one, if you can save.
Yeah.
Because deposit rates are higher.
Right.
Good time to save. Good time possibly to come up with a larger down payment so you're not borrowing as much at a high rate.
Makes a difference.
Is always a nice piece to it as well.
Yeah.
And then also, I think when you're looking at borrowing money today, just kind of make sure you know what you're getting into. There's no prepayment penalties, for example, because if rates do come down, you want to be able to refinance that.
Exactly.
So I think those are just some things to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and sometimes people are hesitant to come into the banks because they think they're going to look like they don't know what they're talking about, or embarrassed that they don't know all of this. But that's why you guys are there.
It is. We live and breathe this stuff. We enjoy it. We love the communities, and we like them to come in and do that. We like to sit down and say, hey, maybe now's not the best time. Here's what you should wait for. Or now is a perfect time for you. So absolutely, come into any financial institution and sit down with your lender and just say, hey, does this make sense for me?
Right. And credit care, if people come in, if they're looking for maybe a home loan or a business loan, and they need maybe better credit, you guys will work with them to help them improve their credit score.
Yep, absolutely. And that's some of the things we like to do is if they come in and there's some reason they can't get the money today, we want to make sure they know how to get there. What is it? What can we do? Can we help you build your credit? Can we do some things to get you where you need to be?
That's excellent. And consolidation loans, do you do that with people who might get in a little trouble with credit cards?
We do.
That's a big thing, isn't it?
It is. And typically what will happen, that stuff sneaks up on them.
It does.
They'll start to get into credit cards or maybe a home equity loan. That is, a lot of home equity loans are on a variable rate, so they've gotten higher.
Yeah.
So we will get people coming in saying, hey, maybe it's time to put these together at a lower rate, lock it all back in again.
Yeah, and you guys can help. Some great things they can do for you at the People's Community Bank. Yeah, lots of great services and lots of great locations around the area too. Kevin, I'd like to thank you for all this information. Is there anything else you want to add? Any little things that we need to know about the interest rates or any inflation maybe in the next week before we get that next report?
Oh boy, if you're asking me to speculate, I'm probably going to be wrong. But no, I would just say, in general, we're always here. Just stop in, let's talk about it. I think it's always good for your financial health just to take a look at things.
Sure. And folks, if you want to find out more about them, you can find them online. It's www.thepcb Bank for People's Community Bank. The PCB Bank. And you can also get the phone numbers for all the locations there and the actual addresses. Are you on Facebook too?
We are.
Okay, great stuff there. Find them on Facebook too at the People's Community Bank. They have the answers to your questions. Most every one of them. If not, you'll find them, right?
We will. Thank you.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for all that information. Hopefully that helps a few people if they're wondering about interest rates or how the inflation is affecting them and how the interest rates can affect the inflation. And if they want to find out more, give you guys a call at the People's Community Bank. Anybody we get on the phone will help us, or they'll direct us to where we need to go.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for stopping in today.
Hey, thank you much. Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you next month. We'll do another Financial Friday, right? First Friday of next month?
First Friday of the month.
Sounds great. Next month's already December, though.
I know.
I know. We'll talk Christmas stuff then.
Absolutely.